Hello! This is going well already, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hello, my name's Stuart Moses. I'm the host of the Improv London Podcast. And I am here with a guest of the Improv London Podcast, whose name is Karolina Kriks. Hello!
Hello!
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you doing?
I am very well, We've just finished recording episode 115 of the Improv London Podcast. How was it for you?
I talked a lot.
That is very much the point of the podcast.
So I talked a lot for about 50-something minutes. And I mostly talked about myself and improv.
That is very much the raison d'etre. That's very much the point of the podcast, is for you to come on and talk about yourself and improv.
And I really enjoyed it. That's what I wanted to add as well. Thank you, Stuart, for having me.
That's brilliant. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm going to wave at some people here. Hello, Vicky. Hello, Ilias. You also waved as well.
Yeah, that way it says wave.
Yeah, so you can wave, but I also wave by tapping on the screen.
That's another type of waving I haven't heard before, because it's not waving, it's tapping.
Yes.
And then it turns into a wave.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It's 2018. It's a very confusing place.
When taps turn into waves.
When taps turn into waves. Oh look, there's Helen. There's Heather. Hello.
I give a the old fashioned.
You do the old school wave. I'm going to do the new school wave.
So much more efficient.
I think yours has got more of a human touch. So we've just finished recording Karolina's episode. So if anybody has any questions that they would like to ask Karolina, because I'm rubbish at answering questions.
I threw him off a little bit by just bouncing the questions back, and Stuart was like, "Why? I didn't expect that." No, you did answer your questions as well.
And you turned it into magic, so that was fine.
Well, we helped each other.
That's improv.
Nice.
So, what did we talk about?
We talked about Improbable and the chapter of Secrets. Improbable is my group that I improvise with. So we've been around for 5 years, and
sorry, I'm only laughing because I always give this piece of advice before anybody comes on the podcast, to not list the people in the group.
Okay.
But I didn't realise there were only 4 of you in Improbable at the moment, so you probably could list the members of the group with confidence that you're going to get them all.
Okay, so here's something I'm going to have to admit right away. So there's one guy in our group who's a very good friend of mine as well, but till today, I don't know how to really pronounce his first name. I always get it wrong. Yes. So
I really feel like I've landed you in it now.
Yeah. So his name is Steph. So my group consists of 4 people. It's Stefano or Stefano. I always have to think about it. I think it's Stefano.
I think it's Stefano.
Good. You know more about him than I do.
Well, I mean, that's, I don't think I know more about him. I just think I know how to pronounce his name.
Yeah. So I think also it's Stefano.
Yes, I would agree with that.
But
do write in if you know.
If you know how to, it's
if you
Italian,
are Stefano, do write in and let us know whether we've got it right.
Don't be offended, because there's just a link in my brain missing that I think it's a genetic defect of some sort. I just can't.
This is my serious face.
Oh, you look like a puppy. It's like, I've eaten your couch. I'm sorry.
You're talking about a genetic issue, or I've eaten something I shouldn't have eaten. Yes.
So it's Steph, who's Italian, Utku, who is Turkish, but now is British as well, because he's a British citizen. He's got the citizenship and all that sort.
Well done.
And had tea with the Queen, as you do.
You had tea with the Queen?
No, not really, but
tea.
They say like it's tea with the Queen, but the Queen never comes. It's really sad.
Sad now.
And then it's Stephen, who's our artistic director, who was on your podcast.
Episode 112, I'm going to say confidently. I've done a lot of these. I can't remember what number everyone's is.
It
is.
I thought it's because when I was listening to some of your podcasts, I was like, "Wow, how long have you been doing that now?"
So I started in December 2015, but I have had 2 breaks. I had a break around episode 50, and then I had a break. I missed some weeks this August.
Okay.
So it hasn't been every week since December 2015. But yeah, I do think it's slightly too many. I can't stop now.
No, like if you run out of improvisers, then
I have not.
yes.
I've really not run out of improvisers. There are still loads of people.
There are loads, and they are becoming more and more because I teach people to become them.
So you are giving me guests of the future by bringing them into improv.
Exactly. Yeah. So we were talking about Improvable and the chapter of secrets, and so we basically started as a short form group 5 years ago, and we developed some long form narratives, and one of them is Harry Potter inspired, very loosely Harry Potter inspired long form, which will eventually have more and more of an immersive touch. So the aim of the game is to make this all senses, all audience members, including kind of crazy magical journey for everyone involved.
That sounds amazing.
Yes.
Wait, do you want to wave in reality and I will wave virtually at Charlie?
Shall we do it at the same time?
Gareth.
1, 2, 3, go.
There you are. That was efficient. That was double wave.
Double wave.
Double wave.
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 Wave. Wave.
Wave.
Wave.
Wave.
Wave.
Wave.
Wave.
Why are we just now we're just saying wave to each other? That's going to be entertaining. I'm sure that's what the viewers tuned in for, isn't it?
You're welcome.
Wave. Wave. If anyone does have any questions and just wants to stop us from sitting here going,
we know a lot about waving nowadays. There's okay.
No, we don't know a lot about waving?
No, I actually kind of realized we know how to wave on screen and
I think that's
in front of the screen. But anyway, shall we change the subject from waving to... Okay.
No,
Pants! I know this guy.
Brilliant.
He's from Austria.
Oh right, hello.
Back when
I'm waving. I'm back on the waving.
Back when can I do the tap waving now?
Well, no, because he's done an applause thing. He's done like an applause thing, but he hasn't waved at us. So.
Oh, that's an applause. That is so.
That's so Matt.
It doesn't look like an applause to me.
You see, I don't know why we can't wave at Matt.
It looks like that could be a hand that either just slapped someone and it's still the echo of the slap on the face.
Well, I don't think that's what he meant.
Says okay.
He says hi again. If that was a slap on the face.
Yeah, I get so confused with what they're called? Emojis. See, I can't even say it.
Yes.
I get so confused with them.
I know.
Yeah.
I was just about on board with emoticons.
What's the difference?
So I would say an emoticon is when you have a smiley face, whereas I think so when you do the 2 dots and the dash and then the bracket, I'd say that's probably an emoticon. But then an emoji is it's kind of when it's a smiley poo. I would say that's an emoji.
I always okay. So what's the definition? So if it's a poo, then it's a...
or an aubergine. Is that any better?
Then it's okay.
I would say that's an emoji.
So a smiley face is an emoticon, and everything that exceeds the 2 dots and becomes more than just a face and turns into a poo is an...
I wish I hadn't used the smiley poo as an example.
Anyway,
if anybody
if
can tell us
anyone
the
can
difference,
explain that, please,
an emoticon and an emoji.
Because I feel like he tried and he did not succeed. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm putting you on display.
No,
here,
it's good. It's good.
Your internet knowledge sucks more so than mine.
Well, yeah.
This is my ever first Facebook Live video, by the way.
You're doing very well, I think. You're doing very well. What does Matt mean when he says that?
Es ist I forgot how to speak German. That's in very slangy Austrian. It says, no, it isn't a slap.
Ah, good. Good.
Yeah, it's just...
that nearly became a slap.
I'm sorry.
That's fine, I trust you. That I shouldn't trust you. What are you going to do?
Well, we'll see later. Once the evidence is gone.
It's no longer being filmed. You're also doing some teaching
Yes, we talked about me teaching improv. So I teach improv for everyone basically, but it's a course for beginners and advanced. It's a performance course starting on the 8th of October in the Theatre Daily in Broadgate. It's a 8 weeks course where we go through the foundations, obviously, of improv, yes, and listening, offering, and making the other one look good on stage. And cover acting skills, stage skills, object work, obviously. My approach is quite an emotional one, so I'm very much for the emotional truth within the scene. So I think I'm a bit more acty in terms of my coaching approach than other teachers that I experience have been. And so I do this. That's an 8 weeks course with a performance at the end. So the students get to go on stage and show how hilarious and funny they are.
And also at that stage, their friends and family haven't got tired of coming to see them on stage doing improv.
Yes.
Because there's a finite window of time when you can rely on your friends and family to come and see you.
Exactly, and then you just have to be hopefully finding a fan base that will come and follow you forever, because you're absolutely great.
I've not got to that stage yet.
No, come on! I've been your fan from day one.
Thank you very much, and I have been your fan since day one. I met you.
We met on a musical improv course together.
Yes, that would be Maria Peters and Phil Lund.
Yes, exactly. That's where we met.
Yes, that was a really good fun. That was really good. It was really good fun, wasn't it? Yes.
The rhyming really was hard.
Rhyming is hard. Yes.
What was it like? Which one was that funny thing that we did? It wasn't the hold down. It was something else.
I remember we did. Is this quality stuff? It's better than when we just said wave at each other.
I love the wave part.
That was good. We might do that. Might do that again. I particularly remember we did the national anthem game, where we asked for the name of the country, the population, and what was the country well known for. And I remember we did that game. That's not the one you're thinking of.
No. I've meant like a little bit like. Is it called the hoedown?
There is the hoedown. Yes.
But it was something similar to that, and we had to be very fast with rhyming, and it was like a couplets. But then you had like the other ones where had a little bit more time to come up. It was like a pirate song of some sort. Do you remember that? Never mind.
It doesn't matter.
Never mind. That's where we met.
That's where we met.
Yes. So yeah, we're talking about this, and then also we were talking about my improv for people who are a little bit shy, or feel depressed, or feel like whatever is going on in their minds and heads isn't worth saying out loud. And I think that improv is a great tool to help you build up your self-confidence. Not only that, but also silence that inner judge that everyone has to a certain extent, because obviously we put on roles when we go through everyday life. We put on our masks of how to behave in your job, how to behave with your relatives at the supermarket. And some people have those masks a lot stronger than others and feel quite depressed or imprisoned by that, and then have a hard time to kind of get out of this kind of questioning everything, self-critical mindset. So my drop-in classes that I'll be running from the 16th of October here at the nursery will be on a weekly basis. I'm inviting people to come and explore with me, to be creative, to be themselves foremost, and work with however they feel on that particular day, and be as a gentle coach and hopefully mentor, able to help them discover their voice again. I've done something similar already this year, and it's been quite quite an amazing journey for myself as well, because I could see the development within people, and I could see them really enjoying themselves. And that was, for me, just something where I knew I want to continue that, because I feel like it's worthwhile and it helps people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds brilliant.
That's what we're talked about.
I know that doing improv has made me feel a lot more socially confident.
Yes.
Because I find it very helpful, because you can go along to some things and there's no easy way to sort of interact with people, but when you're doing improv, you're playing games or you're doing scenes, so you're interacting with them in a sort of there's sort of a format or something like that. So and then it's easier to interact with them just sort of socially, because you've spent time on stage with them or whatever. So
Yeah.
I found that really helpful. So I really enjoy that side of it.
Do you have the feeling, because it's funny for me, sometimes like I've worked with different improvisers, and sometimes you have fun on stage, but then you go for a beer and then suddenly everyone sits and stares awkwardly, and just like, surely that's not what it's meant to be. But I agree.
Yes.
In general, it's very true.
No, you are right. I do understand that as well. And I think sometimes I think it's tiredness.
Yes.
I think once you've had that adrenaline rush of being on stage and doing that thing, then it's just like, I'm wiped out now. That's all the energy I had.
Yeah.
And now, I think that's partly it. Or is it because people feel socially awkward when they're just in a social situation and when they're not on stage and they don't have, I don't know.
I think it's different, because a lot of people that I've met through improv, they are amazing improvisers, but they can be still quite shy, as in or a lot of actors I know, as I come from an acting environment, they are not necessarily the most outgoing people.
Hi Azul, sorry, I feel like I interrupted your flow then.
It's fine. They might come across as really big and brash with the characters, and then suddenly you have a conversation with them on the side, and you realize, oh, they're really shy, or you can see like those little things that trigger you yourself, where you can say, oh, somebody's fiddling around or not looking into your eyes because they're quite shy. I have that as well. Like, that's why I also so much encourage people to just like play with that when they are in my courses. I feel so self-conscious so often on a day, and it's funny how people say like, Carol, you come across as so confident. No.
Well, I think you come across as confident.
I know, but that's bullshit. You have no idea what's going on in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then fine. Sometimes in social situations it's a little bit more obvious, because you can obviously dissect certain kind of movements, and sometimes it's not as obvious, but generally I would say I still have this awkwardness around people. Sometimes you just don't feel very sociable. But I know how to deal with it better now. So that's where improv helped me a lot. I still can be shy, or, kind of like sometimes when I talk to people, I can't look them in the eyes at all, because I just feel very self-conscious on that particular day. But I laugh about it, or I can crack a joke about it now. I think improv for me, for example, has helped me to love the awkwardness of
really
the situation.
That almost seems like a clowning kind of thing. You're sitting in the shit.
Yes.
And it's like, you're okay.
And I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's like, this is really awkward, but actually it's fine.
Yeah. I had a stand-up gig yesterday, and my friend and I went on stage, and then afterwards you have to bring your own audience. So you can't go on stage, and my bringer basically came at the second half, and I already thought I'm not going to be on, and then he literally stormed into the room right before they wanted to cancel me, so I had to go on stage, which was fine. It was fine, but I was like hoping he will make it.
That's an extra stress you don't need when you're just beginning to do stand-up.
Yes.
Stand-up.
Yes, startup. It's almost the same. It's almost the same. And then we just sat afterwards. It was like 4 people in this pub that was empty afterwards on a Sunday afternoon. I was slightly tipsy from 2 ciders. And I don't know if everyone was in a bad or tired mood, but there was so much silence for such an extended amount of time that I was like, I just started laughing. I was just sitting there and started laughing because I found it so funny. Like everyone started shuffling, playing with their phone, looking around, being because everyone's suddenly feeling like, oh, nobody's talking. Shall I say something? And you like look for something to say, and I just had to laugh and went like, great guys, who's telling me the next joke? Something like that, and just named the awkwardness.
Yes. Yeah. No. I certainly, I understand that. I feel more comfortable just, being in that sort of position. It's like, actually, it's fine.
Yeah.
One of my worst habits, we haven't got time to go into all of them. One of my worst habits.
I have time. If it makes me feel better, go for it. Yes, do it. I only charge £20 per 10 minutes, so it's fine.
Is that I dread social events.
You came to my party, to my birthday thing. Thank you very much.
But the thing was, and thank you for inviting me, and I had a lovely time.
Yes.
And
why do you dread social events?
Well, this is very much, I think it's part of my brain trying to keep me safe.
Okay.
Because I've made a rule now that if I say I'm going to do something, then I do it. Because I think it's important to be consistent. It's important to be the sort of person that if they say they're going to do something, that they do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's better to say no to a social thing rather than to say yes and then not go.
Yes.
Because that's just wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah, it will make people go like, oh, you're a bit of a...
Yeah.
Bull... Sorry.
Now you start editing your swearing.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Swear enough.
So if I say I'm going to go, I go. And I had a few. Generally, it's on the way there, and I just have to make myself go. And then when we got to the venue, I had a couple of minutes where I was like, I don't want to go in. But then, if I've got to the venue, then I know I'm going to go in because I've spent all the time travelling to get there.
Yes.
And of course, all your friends were lovely, and you were lovely, and you were there. And of course, and then once I was there, I was like, oh yeah, no, this is fine. Yeah. And it genuinely always is. I mean, I can't think of a terrible social situation that I've been in. But I wish I was one of those people that could, be invited to something, say yes, look forward to it, do it, enjoy it, and then just look back on it with fondness.
Do you know any of those people? Because theoretically they exist. I haven't ever encountered anyone to go like, I've been invited, because most people are like that. They are. Yeah, I think they are. Like either we are just very special and we're like, no, of course we're special. But no, I think most people are like that because, I mean, your own bed and your binge TV watching whatever everyone does in their own 4 walls. But I think most people are like that. I always have to, but then my brain works a bit different, so I'd be like, first the negative sides of things, then I have to kind of rationalize it down and then find the positive. But I would be the same. I have to bring, and come on, small talk is exhausting. To find things to talk about is exhausting. It's easier since I'm improvising because I just crack jokes, or I just like the tiniest thing you will say to me.
Yes.
It's like wave, and we had a whole discussion about waving, which is more interesting than to talk about the weather.
Yeah.
I work in the reception downstairs sometimes, and
We're at the nursery, by the way.
Yes.
Thank you very much to the nursery for allowing us to record this here. Thank you very much. I don't say thank you often enough, and I'm very grateful to everyone at the nursery for all the support that they give the Improv London podcast. Anyway, now you can carry on with your anecdote.
Thank you. So I do work in the reception every now and then, and covered the guy who sits at the reception usually, and the amount of times my conversations are about the weather, or about how are you? Yes, thank you, I'm good. Or people just passing by and saying how are you, and they're not even waiting for the answer, because that's obviously a thing in England that I have yet to get used to do. Just say how are you, but not waiting for the answer.
Right, yeah.
And it's really like in the beginning I got really upset about it, because I was like, why the fuck do you ask me how I am, and then you not even, I might be suicidal, and he was like. So it's really, but it's a lot of small talk. You basically talk the same, and we're kind of like so hardwired of like finding those common things to talk about. So what are you doing for a living? It's interesting. So you're a consultant. There's not much common ground, right? So I think the improv side of things has kind of enabled me to find the little things interesting.
Yeah. Well, definitely, improv has helped me when people talk about digging one big hole rather than lots of little holes, trying to deepen the one thing rather than trying to do lots of different things. So I'm much better at taking whatever someone's given me and then trying to, deepen that or find, the common ground in that sort of thing, rather than trying to go, okay, you've said that thing, but I've also got this idea and I'm going to say this thing. We'll take their idea and I will try and build on it, which I've totally learned from improv.
Yeah, and it works better, I suppose, because so often it's very interesting. I do read a lot of kind of books where it's a lot about like social interactions and how people kind of communicate with each other. What do we want from each other? There's a lot of self-help books as well, or philosophical books that I like to read, and it's interesting to see that with how little you actually gain somebody's trust in terms of saying like, making their idea something you want to work with. And it just makes the dynamic so much easier and more enjoyable for both, because then it becomes your general idea and both of you are involved, rather than having to like, hey, now let's play with this car. No, I want to play with this car. Yeah.
Cool. Ja, sehr gut. Do listen to the Warum nicht? Gehen Sie geradeaus und nehmen Sie auf der linken Seite.
Und wo sind wir dann?
I've reached the extent of my German there.
Okay, I just was asking where we then when we go straight ahead and then left. Letting me down.
Der Bahnhof.
Der Bahnhof, yeah. Okay.
This is a question from Andrew Gentili.
Oh, Andrew.
Have you ever melted something that was not edible?
Have I ever melted something that is not edible? God, yes, I melted, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I destroyed a whole, I don't remember. Oh, do you know like the filter coffee machines?
Yeah.
So I destroyed the whole thing, completely melted on top of a hob.
Wow.
Yes, old-fashioned hob, because I kind of like, I thought I switched the coffee machine on and I put it on the hob, but I actually switched the hob on and left the room, and then it was my ex-boyfriend's mother's house, and it was her hob, obviously. And when I came back to get myself coffee, I found a melted coffee machine on the hob, and I couldn't eat the coffee machine, if this answers your question, and I didn't drink coffee either. And then I spent like an hour scraping that plastic off the hob. It was never the hob that it used to be ever again.
So, was that the reason that you broke up with?
I might be part. I don't know. There were many reasons. It was pretty.
Well, thank you, Andrew Gentili. That was a great
Thank
question.
you, yes. I wonder where this is coming from, the question. I wonder what you have melted that isn't edible.
Yes. Has anybody...
Please PM me if you don't want to disclose that publicly.
Yes, if anyone watching has melted anything
That
that wasn't
they can't-
edible,
yes.
Please do share. And if you
Please share.
have any questions for us, do send them. So Nathan Keats asks.
When did you read that?
So we did this with, I think this was the Susan Harrison one. These were great questions that we got, so I thought I'll write these down and I'll ask these every time we do it.
Nice, very good.
So Nathan Keats asks, when were you last so rained on that you were disgusted and upset?
Never happens.
Really?
I love rain. I'll be the crazy person to go out half naked whilst everyone's inside and will be dancing bare feet in the streets. I actually always do that. The heavier it rains, the more likely I'll be outside on the street dancing.
That sounds like a great response to rain, especially in this country. Amy Cook Hodgson asks, elephants don't forget, so which memory in your memory bank would you never like to forget?
God.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard answering questions, that's why I asked them.
Have you ever answered that question?
I think I have, yes.
Tell me.
Well, it'll be okay. So
Influencing me, do you mean, or what?
no, I just feel that for the viewers.
I know, but I want to see what I'm competing against.
Oh, okay. So there was a particular Showstoppers course that I did, and in the showcase at the end, we had the choice of either having. So the audience, we took 3 suggestions from the audience. One was the moon. One was the Great British Bake Off, and one was the White House. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I don't want to do the White House. I mean, I never want to do the White House, but especially not at the moment. But I'd be more than happy to do the moon. Mm-hmm. But anyway, the Great British Bake Off got voted in. So we were going to do a musical set in the Great British Bake Off. And the first few scenes sort of happened. And I wasn't in it. And I thought, maybe I'm just not going to be in this sort of thing. And it's going to be a bit sort of sad. And then Andy Pugsley, who was narrating it, then had me come on as kind of the villain. So I was kind of the Paul Hollywood character. I've never even seen Bake Off, so I don't really know. But I was kind of the nasty character that came on. And so they all sang a song about how horrible and terrible I was. And then I sort of, strode on stage. And basically I just spent the whole time being this sort of baddie, which I'm neither on stage nor off stage is what I normally do.
He's awful, like he threatened. I'm joking.
Be on my podcast. Do a Facebook Live. So I had a really good time just being really horrible to everybody. Which, as I say, I don't do on stage or in real life.
The nice guy. This is how he actually looks like inside of Stuart Moses.
They saw a different side of me that night. They saw the
His
truth.
name is so deceiving.
Yeah.
None of it is true.
So I had really good fun, just being really horrible. And
so you enjoyed being nasty and horrible to people.
And it was really nice because I started quite high status, and then by the end I was brought low, and it was really satisfying.
Aww.
So that's one memory I would like to keep in my memory bank.
Cool. I think I think I'm such an emotional person. I think that one big memory that I'd like to keep in my memory bank is certainly a holiday that I had with my mother, who is not with us anymore. She died 20 years ago almost. But I was very close to my mother, and so just this riding on a horse in Tunisia on the beach together was amazing. It's certainly a memory that I never want to forget. And another memory that's quite recent is how freaking proud I was to have won the first the audience vote of my first stand-up ever.
Wow.
Yeah, I felt like I'm on top of the world and I know it's only a tiny plastic statue, but for me it just meant a lot.
Brilliant.
At that moment. So yeah. Good things to treasure.
Yes.
And my first time, because it was so amazing, when I had sex. It wasn't. It really wasn't amazing. Anyway, I shouldn't be saying that. Can you cut that out? Oh God, that's live, right?
Yeah, it's live.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's comedy. It's just a joke.
Oh, yes, exactly. It's a joke.
It was amazing.
The guy is actually my Facebook friend, so we should.
I mean, he must have known.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awkward.
That's awkward now. God, I hope his English isn't very good. He's Austrian. It's fine.
So you just narrowed it down.
God! Always happens to me. I just like, and then I don't shut up. Who's that? Like thingy. At Extras, do you know the TV show Extras?
I do not. I haven't seen it.
His sense of humor is pretty much like you should have stopped talking already, and you just continue, and that's basically me in real life. I just continue, and then I should have stopped long ago. So yeah, I'm sorry. I almost said his name.
Wave at Jack. Wave, Jack. Do you know Jack? It's hard to tell from his picture.
But he looks a bit doggish in this
yes,
picture.
I mean, that's a picture of a dog.
No.
Yeah.
I know Minolo Gerardo.
Ah.
I know this guy. Yeah.
Where
from improv as well,
yes.
and from acting classes. Yeah.
Well, most people I know are from improv.
Yes.
That doesn't really narrow it down.
Well, I did an improv course with him.
Ah, right.
Yeah,
okay.
so I know him as long as I know the rest of Improbable.
Ah.
But he's not a part of Improbable. He does a theater with one of the Improbables.
Ah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Ah, right. Cool.
Yeah.
Sehr gut.
Sehr gut. Any more questions?
That's all my questions.
Good. I just wanted to point out, if nobody had seen that, I was responsible for the decoration of the set for today. So I put the Godfather family album, and on top of the book I put a tiara because I thought, I don't know, it's, you know, of something of both worlds.
Yes.
Like the prestigious, beautiful, shimmery, shiny, and the dodgy, not so shimmery, shiny.
Those are the two worlds: the shimmery, shiny, and the not so shimmery, shiny.
Yeah.
That's how we divide the world into the two things.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to say that if you're wondering what the wheel on a ship is called, it's called a wheel. When you listen to episode 115, this will become relevant.
Yes, we were. That's weird that they didn't really invent anything more dramatic sounding than
The ship's wheel.
Yeah, the ship's wheel, because I said like the steering wheel of a ship, and then I doubted myself, and I shouldn't have.
Well, you were wrong.
Because it's just a wheel.
It's just a wheel. It's not a steering wheel.
It's not a steering. It doesn't steer. It's just turning. But you never know where the ship will go to, because you need the sails for that, right?
I technically.
Basic knowledge.
I think it's the rudder. I'm not really an expert on sailing, so
Please, anyone who knows a little bit about sailing, talk to us. You know, chances are this will be flooded one day, and then we need to have some sailing knowledge. Yes.
I'm waving at Robin Riggs. Hello, Robin. Anyway.
Hey, do the old-fashioned wave now.
Oh.
Yes. See, I got you back.
Is this an old-fashioned wave?
Yeah, because you were tapping the whole time.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yes,
Yes, you're right. Yeah, I'm doing both. Yeah.
Wow.
I thought like that was a special type of wave that was old-fashioned, as opposed to just compared to doing.
No. Well, yeah. I mean, there are special ways of waving, because back in the days you would go like really big, and nowadays you don't. Now it's, you know, like.
Wow. I wonder why that's changed.
Because we don't need to use our hands so much anymore. We don't write. We just type like this. It's my theory.
It's a good theory.
Just made that up, by the way.
That's one of the problems with being surrounded by improvisers, is that they say things, these convincing things, you think, oh, that must be true. And then it's like, no, they just made it up.
But think about it. It must be true, because back, like, let's say 20 years ago, you had to write letters.
Yes, that's true.
You didn't really have, okay, you had the internet and stuff already. Let's say 25 years ago.
Right, okay.
30 years ago.
Okay.
25 years ago.
Okay.
But nobody had a computer at home, or you had a computer at home, but you didn't have internet, so hence you wouldn't be writing emails, right?
Yes, correct.
So you would write either in a typewriter, or, which no kid would do anyway, or you would write with your hand.
Yes.
Ergo, hence, the use of your hands would be far more... No, I'm just like, my theory is already shattered before I established it, because you use your hands far more now with the stupid phone.
It was a good theory.
Yeah, it started off well, and then I just wrecked it. If anyone wants to take the theory and develop it more, to credit me at the end if it's any good. Only if it's any good.
It's your gift to the world.
Yes, you're welcome.
Right.
Cool.
I think we should probably wrap it up
Yes.
there.
I think there's enough knowledge spread now.
Yes, we've imparted enough wisdom on the world. We've made everything a better place. We may move on. Let's do a wavy finish.
Shall we?
Wave, 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 wave. Bye-bye.